there we go. Wolves 1, Slovan Bratislava 0 in our 4th Europa League group stage game. And Wolves now all but through to the knockout stages. It would be a disaster now if Wolves don't get anything from this group. Finishing, well, currently second in the group, but of course can go top. We've got 2 games left, one against Besiktas at home and Braga away as well. But we need Bratislava to win both of their games and us to not pick up any points for us to get knocked out, which seems very, very unlikely now. But a great performance from Wolves tonight. Of course, probably would have liked 1 or 2 more goals, but overall the performance was fantastic and very, very solid overall. And of course, the Bratislava goalkeeper, his heroics sort of kept the Slovakian side in the game, really. But we'll start off with the team. Patricio starting in goal, a back 3 of Dendonka, Cody and Kilman. Fullbacks of Vinagre and Matt Doherty. Neves and Martino in the middle with Neto, Jimenez and Adama starting as a front 3. As well as Wolves started on the front foot quite early on. Slovan Bratislava not really creating any clear-cut chances. They played the ball up a couple of times, had a couple of set pieces in dangerous area, but never really troubled Wolves massively. Of course, Jan Martino had deflected shot that almost caught the Bratislava goalkeeper out, but he did make a decent reflex save on there. And of course, couldn't quite find the breakthrough. Neves had a couple of long shots in the first half as well. Adama making some decent runs down the right-hand side and winning some set pieces. But other than that, we had a hold of the game. We looked dominant, and I think it was just a matter of time really before Wolves were going to put the ball into the back of the net. And we started off similar in the second half, to be honest. Really going well, looking good going forward. Started to pick up some great momentum, and of course getting that early second half penalty. Pedro Neto sort of bearing down towards goal and then brought down. He looked like he was clipped. You can see a lot of referees not give it, but I think the ref, he did have a think about it, but he did give it eventually and taking a penalty. Now, the thing I still can't get my head around, which I'm sure 99% of you watching the video is probably the same, why on earth did Ruben Neves take the penalty ahead of Raul Jimenez, who has been unstoppable with penalties? He's been faultless. He's scored every single one of his competitive penalties for Wolves, and for some reason Neves takes it and steps up, especially this year after Jimenez taking all of them. And it was saved, Neves, unfortunately. There was a little bit of a delay with Neto down, but Neves took it and it was saved. And I think a lot of people were saying, why on earth did Jimenez not take it? And then it took, you know, I thought that could be our downfall. Could Bratislava get themselves back in the game? Again, had a couple of half attacks, but never really troubled us hugely. And then the ball coming into the area for Raul Jimenez, trying an acrobatic kick, and unfortunately catching the head of one of the Slovan Bratislava players. They were down for a long while, almost 10 minutes, I think. But obviously that looks pretty serious, so I hope all is okay on that end of things. And then I thought, because Wolves had some serious momentum at that point, and I thought maybe, just maybe, this is going to kill us off, and sort of we're going to have to settle for a goalless draw here. But Jimenez, who was superb today, we'll talk more about that in a second, did grab the winner in the end, ball into the area, and Raul Jimenez heading home again, second header in as many games, and putting Wolves in the lead, and in the end giving us a victory overall. A couple of different substitutions for Wolves. Obviously Patrick Cutrone coming in on the left for Neto, and obviously just sort of slowly floating in quite central towards the game, rotating a little bit with Raul Jimenez. I think Cutrone did struggle a little bit. I mean, at times giving the ball away quite cheaply, but he wasn't really in his prime position, and I can't really complain much about him because he didn't really have much chance to shine. I was quite surprised that he didn't start today. I thought maybe he'd get a chance to start the game. But in terms of individuals, Max Kilman again, superb for me. I thought he was really, really good. And for a player, of course, his background is sort of futsal. That is quite close football, keeping the ball on the deck and stuff like that, and good passing, and technically a good player, and that's what he looks. He was great again today. Just looks really, really comfortable on the ball. I think if he bulks out a little bit, he could be a great centre back, and for someone that was playing non-league football just over a year ago or a couple of seasons ago, he looks fantastic, and I'm really, really happy to have him in our team, and looks a great player. Raul Jimenez, again, the work rate was faultless today. Again, could have added himself another couple of goals. Neves, other than his missed penalty penalty looked okay with Martino. I think that's worked really well. And just in general, the 5-2-3, I think at the moment is the way to go. And against Villa, it's going to be really interesting to see how we set up and how we go for that game. But overall, a good victory for Wolves. Could have been a lot better in terms of goals, but overall, the performance itself, other than the goals, of course, their goalkeeper making a number of great stops, keeping them in the game. And I think I'm very happy with the 3 points, and Wolves in the end looking like they could get through to the knockout stage. Priority now, well, from today is of course looking at Villa, but in terms of the Europa League is trying to top that group, and of course we could do that with wins against Besiktas and a win against Braga away as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, guys. Be sure to hit the like button down below, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and we'll be back next time for the Aston Villa preview. Until then, guys, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you all very soon.